guys, today I thought I'd try something a little bit different. Instead of doing a song, I'll do a lesson as though this is your very first guitar lesson you've ever had in your whole life. So you've just got a guitar. Congratulations, it's a great decision. The basics, we'll do a couple of chords, that sort of thing, and a picking song. So when I say a picking song, I basically mean a melody. So probably one of the easiest picking songs that I can think of that I usually start people with is which is a simplified version of Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. So let's start with that, because picking is usually considered easier than strumming chords. So you can play with a pick if you want, or you can just play with your thumb. Let's start with your thumb. So we're just going to play the top string. Each string has a name. It's not really that important at this stage, but the names of the strings are E, A, D, G, B, E. So we're going to play on the top string, which is referred to as the low E string most of the time. So first of all, the first note, we're just going to play it open, which means that you play the string without putting your fingers on the guitar neck. So that's the first note. The second note, you can use your first finger, your index finger, put it on the 3rd fret. Now the frets are these divisions going up the neck. It's a fret, F-R-E-T. We're going to go to the 3rd fret, so you count 1, 2, 3. Move your finger right up next to that middle bit. The reason for that being is if that's what we call being at the front of the fret. If you're at the back of the fret, you'll get that buzzy sort of noise. So if you always try to be at the front of the fret, no matter what you're doing, you have a better chance of the note being nice and clear. So the second note is a 3 on the top string. The next note, we're going to go up to the 5th fret. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? The next note, a 0, then a 3, then a 6, 5, 0, 3, 5, 3, 0. So nice and slow. It's about the easiest song we can do without doing nursery rhymes, which is great for little children, but adults usually aren't really into that. Okay, so that's our picking song. We're now going to do some chords. The easiest chord, usually people agree, is a chord called E minor. For that, you can use your first finger, put it on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string from the top, which is called the A string. Now you can put your finger about in the middle of the fret, and then you can put your 2nd finger underneath it on the next string, also on the 2nd fret. So you got your first finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string from the top, and you've got your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret on the 3rd string from the top. And then it's a good idea to have a pick when you're doing chords, so you get a nice even sound. You can also use your thumb if you want it to be quieter, if you've got neighbors or something. But I would suggest doing the strumming at least with a pick. So what you're looking for here is just to hear each string nice and clearly. And then strum all the strings. And that is an E minor. You can also, some people like to use their middle 2 fingers, put them in the same place instead of their first 2 fingers. That's fine as well. Next chord we're going to do is A. So the easiest way to get to A is to move your E minor, if you're using your first 2 fingers, move your E minor down a string, so you move each finger down 1 string, And then you also add your third finger onto the second fret of the second string from the bottom, which is the B string. So this is quite a straightforward chord. It can be a little bit difficult because you have to squeeze all your fingers into one fret, which pushes your first finger to the back of the fret. So you might sound a bit buzzy, so just try and squeeze it forwards a little bit, push it down a bit harder, and it should be okay. And then you can strum all the strings. Ideally, you don't really want to hear the top string, so you can either use your thumb here to touch it lightly, in which case we won't hear that string, or you can just not strum that string. But it still sounds okay if you play the top string. Not much difference. Right, so that's A. Let's also do a D. So put your first finger on the second fret of the third string from the bottom. Your second finger on the second fret of the very bottom string. And then your third finger on the third fret of the second string from the bottom, which is called the B string. For this one, it'll sound best if you miss out the top two strings and strum from the third string from the top, the D string. It also sounds okay if you include the next string, but not the top string. That will not sound good. So usually what we do is we use our thumb, touch the top string really lightly, so it just makes that sort of noise. And when you strum all the strings, you won't hear that top string. And there is a reason why that note doesn't fit in with the chord, but it's theory related and it's probably a little bit advanced for now, but basically that note just doesn't fit in with the rest of the chord. We'll do one more chord, G, probably the most common chord I'd say. First finger is on the second fret of the second string from the top. Second finger is on the third fret of the top string. Your third finger is on the third fret of the second string from the bottom, and your little finger is on the third fret of the very bottom string. So kind of complicated because you have to use all your fingers. It's a G chord. Some people prefer to not use their little finger and put their third finger on the very bottom, which leaves the second string from the bottom open, and that is also a G chord. They're both correct. One is not wrong. One is not better than the other. I just prefer to use all four fingers. That's the way I learn, and that's just how I do it. Right, so we've learned E minor, A, D, and G. Then what we'll do is use a strum pattern, which is just a way of strumming up and down. Right, so if we start with E minor, for each chord we're going to go down, down, up, up, down. And then you change to the next chord. In this case, let's go to G. Then we'll go to D. Then we'll go to A. And your goal is to do that without stopping between the chords. To the start and do it again. And this is what we call a chord progression. Right, so that particular chord progression, there's a Green Day song, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, which uses that progression. There's a song called Pumped Up Kicks by Foster the People, same progression. I think there's a Coldplay song, maybe Paradise, I can't remember, but there's a bunch of songs that use that progression. So just see how you go with it. Start with E minor, then do A, you can stop there if you want, do the other chords later. It's going to take a while until you can change them quickly, so don't expect to be able to do it straight away. First thing you want to do is memorize them, and then just get comfortable with that strum pattern, and then just start changing. Try and practice a little bit every day, and you will notice after a week or two or something like that, the chord changes are getting faster, more fluid. Chords start sounding better as well. So that's it. That's what I would usually teach someone on their first lesson. We've got our picking song. By the way, you can use different fingers to do that, but for your first lesson, you can just use your first finger if you want. It doesn't really matter. those 4 chords. And yeah, that's what I teach someone on their first lesson. So I hope that helped. Good luck on your journey of playing guitar. Probably won't happen fast because it's kind of a difficult instrument to learn, but it's well worth it. Okay, have a good day. See you later.